Welcome to the Tech Sales Funnels podcast, where we dive deep and answer the ultimate question: how did you hack into tech sales? Each week, we bring you inspiring stories, proven strategies, and insider tips from top performers who've cracked the code to break into tech sales and thrive. Whether you're just starting out, making a career pivot, or ready to level up, this is your go-to space for actionable advice and real-world success stories. Let's crack the code together, because hacking into tech sales isn't just a dream, it's your next move. Now with your host, the founder of Tech Sales Funnels and the tech sales hacker himself, Dayvisson Dasilva.
All right, everyone, welcome to the Tech Sales Funnels podcast. Again, I'm super excited for this episode. I know it's going to be inspirational for so many people, especially if you're trying to transition to tech sales. It's an amazing story. Every time I record this podcast, I feel inspired, and it's literally changing my life and helping me in so many ways. So today, I want to introduce you to Pilar Arostegui. She's a friend from when I was working at Microsoft. She is a leader. She's always on fire. She has such a good energy that comes from her, and she's always trying to help people. And she's an amazing professional mother. So I'm gonna bring her to the stage. She's gonna introduce herself, and she's gonna tell her story. And here we go. Hey Pilar, good morning. Welcome. So good to
Good
have
morning,
you.
Dayvisson. Good morning, everyone. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm very excited. Thank you for the invite, for having me here. I want to start by introducing myself. I'm Pilar Arostegui. I'm a mother, I'm a daughter, a wife, um, and a worker at
Nice.
Microsoft, right? I am a white, Hispanic, Latina person. I have a white blouse and blue jacket on top. I guess casual jacket. And I'm here to try to help you, inspire you into tech sales. I am on a support to sales role, but I help my sellers close their deals. So I hope that you get some a little bit of the advice and the experiences that we have. Davison is a really good colleague of mine, former colleague, but I really love working with him. Also, we share this passion for creating community. So we were in the leadership team together for the Dallas Fort Worth Ola chapter here, doing events for people, inviting students, professionals to connect with us at Microsoft and learn a little bit from our shared experiences.
Yeah, thank
Thank you
you.
for
Thank you so
having me,
much for that
Davis.
amazing introduction. You're gonna notice that Pilar is super humble, and remember, she does a lot, a lot. I don't even know how she does it. She's a super busy mom, and she's everywhere. And wherever she is, she's always trying to help either her clients, another colleague at work, her community. It's amazing what she does. So I'm super excited to dive a little bit deep into her life and her career. And how about we start with, uh, we're both from Latin America, right? I'm from Brazil, from Venezuela. Let's talk. Let's dive a little bit
Yes.
deeper into that story. Can you tell us a little bit more about you? How did you move to America as an immigrant? How that, because that's an amazing story by itself. We could spend a whole day talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not going to take the whole time on my story about myself, but quickly I want to share a little bit. So I was born and raised in Maracaibo, Venezuela, and I moved here 23 years ago to the United States. An amazing country with amazing opportunities. When I arrived, I didn't speak English. I only knew how to read and write, and my pronunciation wasn't the best. So I quickly learned that I needed to do something about it, right? And so I enrolled into the high school, like class for adults program. So I put myself through the English as a second language program and took the TOEFL. I have an amazing teacher, Miss McCarthy, in the TOEFL class, and she inspired me to continue going for pursuing my education. Back home in Venezuela, I was studying mechanical engineering in the Universidad del Zulia, and then I transferred when I moved to the capital, to Caracas, to the Santa Maria University. I transferred to industrial engineering. So I came with some classes already, and she encouraged me to pursue my career here. So I enrolled in college and took a college degree, and then transferred to Arizona State University, where I earned my undergrad, which is a BSc in engineering management. And I didn't stop there, so I wanted to continue learning with my growth mindset. And then I enrolled into a MBA in project management program from Florida Tech, which I finished right before I got hired here at Microsoft. And then throughout my career years, I have experience 20 plus years experience in the financial services and industry. Uh, like I work for banks, insurance companies, a combination of both. And then I ended up here at Microsoft, and that's the type of customers that I
Okay.
have: financial services,
Wow.
banking
There
customers.
was.
Yes.
I know it's super hard for you to summarize your life, your last 15, 20 years of life in such as 1 minute. But as you can see, Pilar coming all the way from Venezuela, learning English, hustling through college, master's degree. As you can see, she's an overachiever, right? So she's a go-getter. She's and started her career doing a bunch of customer service activities, especially on the financial industry, right? So now it's an amazing story,
Yes.
right? We could go so many angles here. Let's dive a little bit deeper. This podcast, a lot of people want to know how did you get into tech sales. So let's think about it. Think about it when you first started and your very first tech sales job. I know you talked about that you are a customer success manager. A lot of people don't know. Just one minute. A lot of people don't know that there's so many roles inside of tech sales. They only think that being in tech sales is just send emails, being on LinkedIn, calling people to get the deal. No, there's an army of people helping clients. So how did you hack into tech sales? How did you get your very first job in technology, even before Microsoft?
Yeah, before Microsoft, I was always curious about how processes work, how new technology bring efficiencies and all that. So I will take stretch projects in my roles. I didn't go just by the defined description of my role, but I always was looking into, finding value and highlighting that to upper management. Hey, we will gain efficiencies in time or processing or where have you. And then I will explain to them my ideas on how we could make that a
Mm,
project, a stretch project, and deliver value to the organization I was working at. Thankfully, they welcome some of my ideas, and then I was able to develop that
mm,
skill set. And I took those learnings wherever I went. So basically, by taking stretch projects outside of my role and looking at into processes and in procedures in the company that I was working and highlighting that. So I started with processes, and then I transition, I guess,
mm,
into software development or sales or that other side of the technology, which is okay, if we adopt this platform or this product or this service from these providers, and the three major providers of the cloud. I was studying their capabilities and comparing and contrasting. And of course, I have a heart from Microsoft, so I'm not gonna deny I'm gonna be biased because I love Microsoft technologies. And transitioning to sales is achievable for everyone. So everyone can transition into tech sales if they put their mind and their determination to it. And what I mean by that is there are skills that you can learn over time, either through formal education, through coaching sessions, through experts that can teach you the ways to get into sales. There are two things that nobody can teach you, and those are
mm.
empathy
Okay.
and kindness. And I think those soft skills, you have to have them, you have to feel it, you have to come genuinely to you, because when you come to conversations in front of customers, those two things are your brand. You can show if you have the empathy for whatever situation they're facing, if you have the kindness to take the time and caring about resolving their issues and all that. And those two things are not, you're not going
Mm,
to be able to hide them. You have to develop them. You have to have them in you if you want to be successful. Not only, other skills like listening skills, stakeholder management, negotiation skills, conflict resolution, prospecting. All those things are skills that you can be taught, that you can learn either through, again, taking a class, going through some coaching sessions. Somebody can teach you those, but kindness and empathy, you have to feel them. You have to be genuinely a kind person for that to show, like it comes from
I
you, from
love
your
that.
personality.
Kindness and empathy. I have been with Pilar in a couple of meetings, and I have seen her leaving the meetings and then going and taking a phone call uh, or jump on a Zoom call, not Zoom, a Teams call from a client, because I guarantee that she wanted to help that client. Probably the client had a question or something that they wanted to know right away, and Pilar, she is really good at what she does. There's a reason why I want to get to that a little bit more further. But she's not only a regular CSA. She recently got awarded one of the best awards that you can ever receive at Microsoft. She joined what we call the Gold Club, and not everyone can do that, right? So she displays by her daily work exactly what's these two words that she just described. I testify on that. Now, Pilar, let's take one step back here. Now that we know that you are in Microsoft, there's hundreds. I heard that like globally, there's millions of applications every single day for people trying to work at Microsoft. How how did you hack into Microsoft? What Tell us a little bit about the process, if you can remember, like the application, like the interviews, like was that a recommendation? Did you find it on LinkedIn? How that happened? Tell us a little bit.
Pure luck. I will say it's pure luck, because at the moment when I applied for the role, I got hired as a
Mm-hmm.
technical account manager. I really wanted a project manager role, to be honest, because that's the title that I was holding at previous employer, project management. And I didn't even modify my resume. Like some people say, hey, modify your resume, adapt it to the description of the role that you're looking for. But in the moment, I was still caught up with in love with
Sure.
with my project management, field, right? So I wanted to remain there. So I left my resume just as is, describing as a project manager, which was the role I was holding on another company who happens to be a
Okay.
Microsoft customer. And I was like shooting for the stars. I'm like, what is the
Mm-hmm.
worst case scenario that I get a no, right? And what is the best case scenario that I at least get interview, right? And if I get interview, I'm gonna sell my skill set, I'm gonna sell my strength, and I'm gonna try to make it. So I was on a Sunday, I was sitting at home looking into LinkedIn, and I saw the post for the TAM role, and I applied. And I knew a few people from sales at Microsoft, um, that I wrote, text messages,
Mm-hmm.
emails, nobody replied. The very busy people trying to make their numbers and keep up with performance. So they were not the best at replying to me, even though I sometimes I would see them on visit in person where I was working, but not so much good at replying at text messages, emails, calls when I was asking
Mm-hmm.
for referrals. But again, I try to be the person that I didn't have. For some people at times, right, when they come to me and they say, "Hey, Pilar, I have an interview coming for a customer success account manager role, which is a role that I have right now," and I try to be that person and at least give some tips or some value to that person to go there a little bit more educated and informed,
Mm-hmm.
and I can share that with you. So one thing that I can advise you is, um, try to stand out by being yourself, being your true self. Your passion for technology is going to show on the way that you speak, on the way that you talk about the projects that you're involved, on the small stories that you are able to make, so you can go through the
Mm-hmm.
behavioral interview, right? Once you have landed the job, landing the job is very difficult, because as you said, one position, open position, could have several people applying to it, and I don't have any magic on how to get through those filters. But once you are in a selection process, right? Once you pass that, uh, you are given a date, and you're explained you're going to have a panel interview. What that means is you're going to have good 3 to 4 hours of interviews, and then back to back, you have 45 minutes to try to convince two or more people that you are the right candidate, and then 15 minutes they take a break, and then you rotate and go to the next and the next, and then you do at least three panels like that, if not four. And then, so you have to be very wise on how you spend those 45 minutes. Your interviewers are going to have a set of questions that they need to ask every candidate fairly that is applying for the similar role, so they can reconvene later and make their decision. But what is your role? Your role is owning the narrative, owning the story that you're going to tell. So you have to be super prepared to tell a good 3 to 5 stories with the STAR method, situational tasks, actions and results, right? Uh, in 2 or 3 phrases, you have to convey a story that is compelling for them
Mhm.
to ask more questions about it, right? Tell me more about this. Tell me more about that you mentioned, right? So try to include a percentage of numbers on sales increase, number of licenses you sold, you know, dollar amount, whatever is in your pocket that you can use to build a story that very quickly you can convey some impact that you cause. And also be prepared for the behavioral questions. There are many questions out there that you can use as template to help you navigate through what you could be asked and how you could answer. So just do the homework, study the culture of the company, study the mission of the company, and try to convey those stories in a way that portray your actions and your true personality comes out, because you will have that shiny eyes, the glare on your eyes when you're doing what you're passionate about. You will have that natural smile that is going to come to your face, remembering the times that you did something really good. Remember the bad times too, because those have learnings and experiences that we need to show as a growth mindset, right? Like embracing our times of failure and then what it came out of those situations as well. So that's my advice, like be very well prepared, so when you're in front of the panel interviewers, you make a good impression, a memorable impression, and make sure that the short stories are short enough for them to remember, um, even after the fact that they interview you, right? Because then later at closed door they have to debate which candidate will have the better, um, I would say, the better fit, or the strengths that they are looking for the performance on the role that they
Mm.
are trying to fill.
Wow. So if you're listening to this is minute 17 here, go back like 4 minutes and you're gonna listen to a masterclass of how how you can be super prepared for an interview, especially with Microsoft. Microsoft's very unique where they do all the interviews in one batch. It's like a marathon. You have to have your water on the side, your protein bar, whatever, because you're gonna go back to back to back to back to back. But Pilar said something here super important. Have your stories like ready, right? Like real stories. Of course, you're gonna organize them in a star format, but something that you're passionate about it, because people, especially Microsoft, they're looking for a fit, right? They're looking for those soft skills here and there. They know that you're coming from the outside. They're gonna have to learn the technology, a lot of stuff you're gonna have to learn. So be memorable, be unique.
Even even sorry, even for other employers, right? Doesn't necessarily apply only to Microsoft. For anywhere you are applying to right now, you have to show up like with upbeat energy, uh, prepare, uh, calm as well, right? At times. So practice, study your body language, study your diction, study your stories, make it yourself, make it sound natural. That is not scripted, right? I don't prepare any speeches, even when I am invited to certain sessions. I am more of a spontaneous person, but that's me. Maybe you might need to write down on a teleprompter something that you will want to practice and make it your own, or maybe you use other tools, you know postcards here and there, or some other method, right? Even notes. That's admissible, because when you are in front of a customer, you also bring with you your technology. You also bring with you your notes, or summaries from previous sessions, your PowerPoint slides if you wish. So there are several other sessions that I have seen from Dayvisson, where he gives advice about having a walking deck, having a resume, having all these tools. Look at it as the way that you're going to show up. So whatever way you're going to show up in front of the panel interview, it will be memorable if you make it that way by having a structure. So in my interview, I asked respectfully to change a
Mm,
little bit the format, and I use my own
nice.
walking deck, right? Here they love if you take a whiteboard and start whiteboarding, or if you do something outside of what's expected, because that shows that you are ready to be put in
Mm,
front of customers. So show up with your best presentation skills. If you are a little bit nervous about the whole session, just being interviewed, just getting to where you got there, right, on that day, try to practice with a group of friends. Hey, I'm going to be interviewed. Can we hop in a Teams call? Let's do a mock interview for me. Ask me questions. Try to throw me out of the topic, so I have to come back to the main topic. So try to practice with a good 3, 4, 5 friends that you might have, and try to be ready, because those situations could happen even in an interview. So I would say count with your community on getting prepared. Um, Seek for professional advice. I have a coach, a career coach, and I have a therapist too, because sometimes you need, to relax. You need to learn meditation skills. You need to learn how to get the stress out, how to not get burned out, right? So seek for that kind of help if you need it. I need it, and I take advice from my career coach. I take advice from a therapist on how to better show up in interviews, in just speeches overall here at Microsoft in front of my customer. If I'm navigating something very difficult, I try to seek advice from the
wow.
professionals.
That's yeah, you're dropping a lot of nuggets of good information here, I feel like. And so it's beyond just memorizing the answers or trying to prepare for the interview, right? There's all sorts of things you can do. Pilar, you mentioned that it was by luck, right? I heard the word luck. I like to think that you were ready, that you were like blessed, right, for with this opportunity, and you just applied once. You just applied, and you got called to the interview, and then you took it,
Yeah,
right?
through LinkedIn. Yeah. My jobs, every job, since I didn't have a big network, right?
Yeah.
Coming from Venezuela, moving to the United States and not having any network, my jobs had been through monster.com. So I'm gonna age myself here. Um, I secured one of my jobs through monster.com. I secured another job through Indeed. I
Yeah.
secured another job through LinkedIn. So it has been always through platforms like that that I have
Okay.
found my next best job. Now that I have, about 20 plus years experience in financial services, that experience helps me when I am, seeking the next role or the next opportunity, but also building community. So when I got here to Microsoft, I learned that there is a Hispanic and Latinx um, employee resource group, and I became active by
Mm,
volunteering myself as one of the leaders on the Ola Worldwide team, right? And then I started building that network that I
yeah.
didn't have before. And after I served 2 years, then I volunteer now for the Dallas Fort Worth chapter as the chief of staff. And I strategically did that because I want to continue helping other generations um, get the help that I didn't have, but also increasing my network. You never know when you need your network for anything. Thankfully, I haven't needed for seeking a new opportunity, but who knows? Maybe my next role will come from word of mouth. Pilar did the
Yeah.
golf club this year. Maybe I will transition into a sales role. I don't know. I am open to all those opportunities today, because you have to have that kind of growth mindset. It might be something new for me, right? A new field, since I am more technical and supposed to sell. I understand that it is more that I need to grow, right, to get to where I want to be. And maybe next for
Mm.
me it would be a sales role. So I am considering those positions. I'm considering the description of the role, what it will take, all that, and I continue
I
learning
love it.
every day.
So let's make a quick summary here, and we're gonna jump to a point that I want to get. So Pilar, she applied online. She found a LinkedIn. Everyone, LinkedIn, please. I tell everyone, this is my number one platform. I did the same. All the jobs that I have received, partnerships, all the things that I do, projects, it comes from LinkedIn. She applied. Everyone's busy, so she reached out to a lot of people. Unfortunately, she didn't get a reply, but she still applied, right? So don't disqualify yourself if you cannot get a referral, or if you feel like you know oh, Microsoft, why should I apply for Microsoft? I'm not gonna get it. No, mindset. Applies ready. She got the interview. She crushed it. And as you can see internally, everyone, listen to this carefully. She's building her network. She continues to build her network. She's volunteering. She's a community leader. Um, a lot of people get into on those big organizations, big tech, and they get really busy with their work. It's really easy to get super busy with the job, but they forget to continue to build their network. So now, anytime, and the cool thing about Microsoft and other organizations, they actually talk about your career development, and they start talking, hey, what might be next, right? So continue to build your network as you are inside of those big tech organizations. Tell us a little bit
Yeah, and you're not an island, right? I didn't get Gold Club by myself. It was a team effort. Like the whole team supported me to help me with my performance to get to the point that it was highlighted, was recognized. In the 5 years that are going to be next month, 5 years here at Microsoft, this is the year that I got the most awards inside
about.
Microsoft and outside, right? And I didn't do that alone. I did that because a lot of people supported me to highlight the work that we were doing together. And sometimes you get nominated by peers, by bosses, by colleagues, by people who share accounts with you, the portfolio, or just people that just notice your achievements and then want to highlight it, right? So I will say it's a team effort always. Even if you get an individual, award or recognition, it comes from a collective effort from everybody around you. So since I am a resource orchestrator, I interact with a lot of roles here at Microsoft, thankfully. And at times it's time for me to support them to get where they need to be, or to get them recognized, or to nominate them. So it's a two-way street. So keep that going, keep the momentum on when you are in a high performing team,
I love
supporting
that.
one
Remember
another.
at the beginning of the podcast that I told you that she was super humble, and now she's giving credit to her team. She got one of the biggest awards at Microsoft, but as a leader, she's recognizing, the effort that it takes, right? That's Pilar for you, everyone. Now, Pilar, maybe some mothers out there. Now let's talk a little bit about you as a busy mom, crushing in a big technology world at Microsoft. How is that possible? How do you manage your time? Maybe there's some tips and ideas of to inspire other women, especially also you can even talk a little bit about the Hispanic community, and you can give a shout out to the mothers out there, and say, hey, you gotta try.
Yeah, all moms and dads out there, they're doing their best. And kids don't come with a manual, right? So uh, when you have kids, you kind of like go by trial and error. Unfortunately, at times, of course, you listen to your parents and their experiences. And if I were you, I would do this way,
Mhm.
or that way, or in this situation, you should act this way and help your kid do this or that. So I'll say nobody has figured it out. Everybody's trying to get the best parenting advice out there. And I count with my husband, right? Is a two people
Mhm.
role. and we tag team. Sometimes he carpool, sometimes I do, sometimes my neighbor does. So we support one another like that, driving the kids to school or picking them up or taking them to sports. Um, is never a one person band, right? It's always a community
Mhm.
around. It's a village that it takes to get to places. I would say, like, for any mom or dad that is struggling out there, just seek advice. There are so many support groups in your community, even in your schools. Just moms and dads just like you. Sometimes, in some situation, there are single moms or single dads that have to deal with the same challenges that we do, right? And they don't have the team. So be supportive also of people needs, your neighbors when they express, hey, I have a job interview and I need to have this kid by this time at the school. Be supportive to one another. Be kind. Again, have some empathy. And you never know when it's you that you get to travel, and then you need that kind of favor too. So I would say, just try to build community even for that, not only on your career professional life, but also on your community life. Maybe a church, maybe a neighbor, maybe somebody who shares sports with your kids. Other parents are having similar challenges, and then it would be good if you can ease the load by sharing responsibilities, driving into the sports events
Mm.
or the school daily. So I will say, just keep going at it. Don't give up. I know at times we see some problems that might be difficult, but hey, we have, a good community here. I think we can
I
we
love
can
that.
strive together.
It's not easy, right? It takes a lot of effort, but Pilar mentioned throughout this entire podcast a couple of times the word community. Make sure you have the right community to support you, right? You can still do really well in tech sales, and you can still take care of your family, and you can still give back and serve, and that's what she does. Pilar, you have been an example for
I want
me from the beginning since I met you at Microsoft. Go ahead.
Thank you. I want to add that people join Microsoft in various stages of their career life, right? And we have people from liberal arts, lawyers, former teachers, professors that join Microsoft as a customer success account manager or as a salesperson or anywhere on those roles, right? Um, and they have
Mm.
transferable skills similar to the parenting skills, right? Sometimes those skills will take you where you need to be. It's just setting your mind into a certain goal, or this is what I want to do on a daily basis. I will enjoy doing this. Make sure that you kind of schedule some informational sessions, if you will, with the person who is doing the role that you think
Mm.
is your ideal job. Because the last thing you want is to pass through all the process interview, selection process, you get the job, and then you don't like it or you don't enjoy what you do on a daily basis. So make sure that you also get informed of what is the day in the life of a salesperson, customer success manager, technical account manager, technology evangelist, whatever title you might be pursuing. So that way, if that job is description matches your
Yeah, super
expectations of
super
the role.
important. Do the homework before you even you start, right? The process, because it takes a lot of effort and work, and once you are on it, you want to make sure you found the right place. Pilar, that was an amazing conversation. As you can see, the time went by super fast. Um, we can talk about many things. We can
Yes.
talk about
Thank
parenting. We
you.
can talk about immigration. We can talk about education. How you were like first gen of everything, right? In your family. Super an amazing example. Like you should definitely be writing a book sometime in your life and recording how it is for generations. But let's close today. Um, this is a very supposed to be a very inspirational podcast, and you gave all the inspiration. And there's anything else that you can say to people who are thinking about, getting to tech sales? We know it's hard. It's just like any other job. We have its own challenges, but how can we close here and yeah, last word.
Be super focused. Focus creates outcomes. like one of our leaders here at Microsoft says. So be super focused, hyper focused on what you want. Never give up. Just keep that growth mindset. If you get a no on your job application, that's not the end of the world. Continue going
Oh,
at it
love it.
until you get a yes.
Perfect. Great closing, Pilar. Thank you so much for joining today. Uh, Again, you were a great example for me and for a lot of people, and people who knows you, respects you.
Thank you for having me.
They
Thank you, Dayvisson. I appreciate you. Take care. Bye, everyone.
Thanks for tuning in to the Tech Sales Funnels podcast, where we crack the code and uncover the strategies to break into tech sales. If you found value in today's episode, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone who's ready to hack their way into this exciting career. Remember, hacking into tech sales isn't just a goal, it's a mission. Let's keep hacking, learning, and winning together. Catch you next time.